What happens when a dark empath meets a narcissist? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You have obviously clicked on this video because you want to know what the dynamic is when a narcissist and a dark empath meet one another. Your curiosity is understandable. For those of you who may not be familiar with who I am, I'm a diagnosed narcissistic psychopath, meaning I have both narcissistic personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, and a very high level of understanding and awareness about myself and my kind. This has enabled me to create over 6,000 videos and thousands of blog articles talking about my kind and the way that we behave, the nature of our victims, the nature of the dynamic, and puts me in a unique position to help you understand so much about this particular world of narcissism, psychopathy, and those who inhabit those worlds. I recently viewed a video which purported to explain to you what happened when a dark empath meets a narcissist. And unfortunately, like so many videos that are created by well-intentioned individuals, it's incorrect and misleading. The video explained that dark empaths tend to be more perceptive towards other feelings than narcissists, yet they also manipulate people quite the same. If you haven't already watched my video, The Dark Empath, The Truth, I would recommend that you do so. Because what you need to understand is that that statement that was made in the other video about when a dark empath meets a narcissist is actually simply describing one narcissist meeting another. Let me read that statement to you again. Dark empaths tend to be more perceptive towards other feelings than narcissists, yet they also manipulate people quite the same. Two individuals that pathologically require manipulation are not empaths, they are both narcissists. Certain narcissists have the ability to exhibit a greater level of perception with regard to the feelings of others. Not all narcissists are completely blind to the feelings of others. Some are, they are lesser narcissists. But mid-range, greater and ultra, different types of narcissists are able to understand the emotional response and output of people because the narcissist relies upon that emotional output to better control that person, to utilize that output as fuel which powers the narcissist, and to perhaps utilize that emotional output to gain character traits and residual benefits. Accordingly, describing someone as a dark empath who is perceptive towards other feelings and also manipulates is not a dark empath. You're talking about a narcissist. It explains that both like to be in control. Well, actually, that is the behavior of two narcissists. Control is central to the world of the narcissist. This is because we were created from a lack of control environment allied with a genetic predisposition towards narcissism. This means that a narcissist is hypersensitive to the issue of control. In the same way that a dog will hear a particular frequency that humans cannot, the narcissist will pick up on threats to control far sooner and far more readily than non-narcissists. Accordingly, to describe both the dark empath and a narcissist as both liking to be in control is simply to describe two narcissists. The video explained that a narcissist and dark empath do not get along as both have dominant personalities. That is again describing two narcissists. It went on to explain that there are times when they might be best buddies because dark empaths have a high level of cognitive empathy and they are very perceptive about others. Again, that is not a dark empath. That is the description of a type of narcissist. The video explains that a dark empath can identify a proud and flamboyant narcissist and befriend them. No. Many empaths don't identify narcissists at first, but over time, as a consequence of the reduction of their emotional thinking and identifying the red and black flags, they will spot narcissists, but they will not befriend them. They will retreat from them, because that is the most effective way of dealing with them. However, a narcissist which has cognitive empathy may be able to identify another narcissist and bring them under control. The video that purports to talk about what happens when a dark empath meets a narcissist is simply describing what happens when two narcissists come together. The concept of the dark empath is an erroneous one and misleads people. Thus, where you hear someone talk about what happens when a dark empath meets a narcissist, what you need to understand is that all that is occurring is that one narcissist is meeting another. In that scenario, if we determine the narcissist by reference to cognitive empathy, you may have a situation where one has cognitive empathy and the other does not. Neither of them has emotional empathy. In those circumstances, the mid-range narcissist or the greater narcissist may better be able to read the behaviors of that lesser narcissist to bring them under control. However, the volatile nature of the lesser is such that they will, over time, regard the behaviors of the mid-range narcissist or the greater narcissist as a threat to control, and therefore they will seek to nullify it, most usually by direct action or through withdrawal. As you know from my other work, there are three methods of asserting control that are used by the narcissist: direct, indirect, and withdrawal. In the circumstances where a lesser narcissist finds themselves being controlled by another narcissist that is mid-range, greater, or ultra, they are likely to try and nullify that threat to control either directly, with a direct manipulation, or through retreat. In some instances, you will have two narcissists who both have cognitive empathy who seek to control one another. And initially, it may be relatively harmonious, but eventually the relationship will become disruptive as their need for control over the other also offends their own innate need not to be controlled, resulting in a response of, again, nullifying that threat to control, directly, sometimes indirectly, and by withdrawal. The fact is, the relationship is not an enduring one. With regard to certain comings together, the collision of two narcissists, it often results in it being tempestuous and explosive. In others, there is a period of calm until the need for control becomes too great, and then the relationship becomes disruptive. In some instances, you have narcissistic cementation, which is where the narcissism recognizes that both narcissists benefit by working together to present an external front to the world of harmony that enables them to get to the prime aims better. There will be ructions behind the scenes between the two narcissists because of their need to get control over the other. But when it comes to their dealings with the world at large, their narcissism functions in a way to create the narcissistic cementation so that there is a glue which keeps them together for longer because they're able to get the prime aims externally. If you'd like to understand more about this concept of narcissistic cementation, I would invite you to watch my video about King Charles and Camilla, which explains more about how narcissistic cementation works. If you want to understand more about what happens when certain narcissists come together and collide, watch my videos When Narcissists Collide Parts 1 and Part 2. These provide you with a detailed breakdown of the dynamic between two narcissists, which would include what would be known as a dark empath, in romantic, social, familial settings, so that you know the outcome. The fact is, the term dark empath should be done away with. And what you're really talking about is this. What happens when one narcissist meets with another? And this is covered in my other videos. But in broad terms, the outcomes are as follows. In some instances, there will be a clash between the two narcissists because their early attempts at control over the other will also offend the other individual's need for control. There will be a flashpoint and invariably will lead to a fallout. In some instances, there is a coexistence between the two narcissists. They're able to seduce one another successfully, and they have a peaceful coexistence during the golden period. But once devaluation will occur, and it will, from one to the other, that threatens control, and thereafter the tempestuous of the relationship will then manifest. In some instances, there is narcissistic cementation, which leads to an enduring relationship, not a calm or happy one, but an enduring one between two narcissists. But most of the time, when two narcissists collide, the outcome is that eventually they will fall out and part ways. Therefore, do not be under the misapprehension that there is such a thing as a dark empath. If you see the term dark empath, just replace it with narcissist. And thus, you now know what happens when a narcissist meets another narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for